So fancy.
Oh, that's what we do here. That's what we do here at the Hold My Beard Marketing Podcast. Welcome, I'm Jake the Wizard. I'm here with Mitch. Mitch, what's crack-a-lackin'?
Christmas stuff.
Yeah, man. This is going to drop on January 1
Ooh, so yeah.
of 2025.
I got to show you something that you'll probably get a kick out of that my team I walked into on my desk today for like a Christmas gift. So we have this joke going around, and I've always said that like I'm a cockroach. Like you can't get rid of me. Like the world can try to get rid of me, business can try to get rid of me. Like I'm a cockroach. But then I got a award from the Driven Mastermind. And I just spilled my coffee, and it's the GOAT for like helping a bunch of people out with their ads and internally. So I became the GOAT Roach. Well,
the GOAT Roach. Oh my gosh.
For those of you that are only listening, you have to go to like YouTube or wherever, but it's literally, they made this in ChatGPT. They didn't have enough time to make it, I'll put it on shirts, but look at that. The GOAT Roach.
Oh my gosh. If that isn't your next tattoo, I will be disappointed.
Oh dude, it totally should be. I could put it on one of my arms. Yeah.
Oh no, it's gonna be on like the base of the neck.
Oh yeah, do like a Cody Rhodes and just put it like right here on my neck.
Yeah. Well, if you're just tuned in for the first time, welcome. Usually we're talking about marketing trends, news, tips, tricks, whatever really floats to the top of our brains here. But this week we figured, since it's the beginning of a new year, we want to kind of do a year in review of 24 and what we're looking forward to as SEO, ads, agency experts going into 25, what we think is going to be coming up here big down the pipeline. But let's take a look at 24 first. Mitch, 2024 in review. What do you think? What were the highlights and the lowlights here?
Gosh, highlights? I don't really know, man. 2024 felt like kind of a dumpster fire when it comes to ads. It was expensive pretty much all year round.
We started the year strong with Advantage Plus and Facebook kicking some booty.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it was January, in most of February, middle of February, you started to kind of see it trail off, and then it just went to hell in a handbasket. So I mean, that started off strong, and then everything got volatile, I mean, but like, honestly, just pivoting quickly in that March time frame helped back to like original interest targeting and getting away from Advantage Plus audiences. And it was pretty stable until about the July time frame when you really had the political season kickoff. Then it really turned into a dumpster fire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, compared to previous years, ads were down, but it's hard to finger point exactly what.
I think there's just so much going on. I mean, politically, economically, socially, like consumer buying behavior is different. We're definitely, I'll get on my recession soapbox, but like we're definitely heading into a fat recession, in my opinion. Like I've been through, this is my 5th political cycle since doing the self-employed stuff and running ads. This one was the roughest one ever. But this is the one where they really figured out, and they both went hard in the paint on social. In the past, like Obama did it a little bit, then Trump kind of figured it out more in 2016, and 2020 was like, wasn't nearly as bad as this.
No.
Then they both figured out like, oh, we're going to go hard in the paint on social and Google and everything, and it just skyrocketed. Plus, I mean, you have, in my opinion, wars have an effect on everything. Israel and Hamas and Gaza, Russia, Ukraine, like World War III is on top of everybody's minds. Our eggs are like $10, like eggs, like, milk is more expensive than gas. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from the SEO side of the world, we saw a lot of algorithmic updates.
Yeah, you guys had it rough.
Pretty much the second half of the year was just a constant algorithmic update, which for us wasn't as bad. We actually made a complete and total program shift back in May
Mm-hmm.
to new methodologies, new strategies, we were actually able to maintain a pretty good outlook for everything. But I know that a lot of people had just significant volatility for the year from an SEO perspective. And here's a big one. AI overviews and ChatGPT search both coming in and reducing total click quantity across the board for pretty much everybody.
Well, I mean, there's that's kind of your proof to what I always like to say is, you have to basically evolve or die. Like, it sounds morbid, but like if you don't stay on top of what's changing and try to be at the forefront of these changes, just like I saw a lot of quote unquote gurus out there on social media still pimping and pushing Advantage Plus all the way through till this fall. And I pivoted back in March, and like our clients thrived. It was not easy by any means, but I mean, we were able to grow businesses and even take businesses, like take on clients that had come from other agencies that were still using this Advantage Plus mentality in like June. And we've 6x'd them in 6 months because of our methodology and being willing to pivot and adjust and try different things. So like you being on the forefront and knowing kind of what's coming and seeing it and being able to pivot and adjust is like great for like you and all of your clients. Like, it's just a huge win. But that's like a kind of a lesson for everybody. 24 to me felt like, and I'm sure you'll agree, there were so many changes that happened so rapidly that we had to pivot and adjust to nonstop, that it's should be kind of an eye opener, whether you run your own marketing, whether you run an agency, that like you have to be moldable, pliable, flexible, especially in 25 and 26 for what I think is coming. And then, clients, that's a whole other thing.
A lot of cool things came out of the year, though. I feel like this year, more than any year I've ever seen, people are starting to dip back into the brand value, like actual branding value, not
just straight
not kind of
based.
watered down. Oh, we have a logo, that's good, but actual brand accessibility and involvement. So I really like to see that, and it was a big year for crossovers and nostalgia branding. So a lot of cool things did still come out of the year. Obviously ChatGPT, every day there's a new AI tool that's been coming out, which is giving people power again. But yeah, it was just a very, very busy year for the marketing side. We're seeing the resurgence of email.
Right. Wasn't that crazy?
Email marketing is absolutely coming back with a fury. If you haven't updated your website in 3 to 5 years, you're probably losing sales because of it. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Totally agree. Couldn't agree more. Like,
especially on the e-com side.
Big time. Big time. Yeah. Those guys are usually the harder ones to get them to update. I mean, even if you're on Shopify, I'm just going to flat out say it. Like, your theme that you bought 3 years ago is missing features and updates. And especially with how fast, like all the stuff Shopify just announced that they're dropping in 25, you're going to need to update your theme.
Absolutely. I mean, I was just watching a hilarious stand-up comic as a Netflix special, and he's talking about how his mom shows him a picture of Bigfoot shopping at Whole Foods. And she's like, look, Bigfoot's real. And he's like, Mom, it's not. And she's like, well, how do you know? And he's like, because the resolution's off and the aspect ratio isn't something that people normally use. And this font doesn't look right. He's like, I just know because I see it. Right. And I think that that's a similar thing with website design right now, where I can go to a website and I can probably tell you within a 6 to 10 month accuracy of when you last redid the site, just based off of what your site looks like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were tons of rebrands, to your point, like even big brands, huge, like NASDAQ 500, NASDAQ 100, the Magnificent Seven, huge rebrands. And if these guys are doing it, everybody else should do some rebranding and updates.
Absolutely. Let's look at 25. What do we think?
Um,
I've got some thoughts, but I want your hot takes.
well, I mean, my hot takes are more doom and gloom, than like pep people up. No, I think we'll continue to see, a lot in terms of AI stuff come out. I mean, just the end of last week, Chat GPT, it won't launch until sometime in January, February, but like, I don't know if you saw it, but their O3 model
Oh yeah.
is 85%, what I forget what they tested it on, but it's basically like it's almost AGI. Basically, it's almost AGI.
The metric that I saw them throw around was that based off of some kind of test, it's the 175th best coder in the world.
Jeez, that's crazy. But I mean, like that kind of stuff, we're going to see that come out more and more. There's definitely an AI war that's going to happen, like not like a literal war, but like a company war, a battle between OpenAI and Google. Like Gemini is finally starting to catch up. So we're going to see a lot of that happen, a lot more integrations with that, a lot more efficiencies, in my opinion. And government's not going to be able to step in and regulate as much as they were going to want to. And then when it comes to ads, I think it's still going to be a lot of, I'd say we're going to still be 60% creative focused and speaking. I mean, which is like so crazy to say because like it's always been this way. But like, so let me make sure I phrase this right, because like creative is going to play a major role, but I also believe that there's still going to be targeting. I think we're going to still be going backwards in how we did this stuff. So like actual like level 1s, level 2s, and level 3s, and deliberately almost even a level 0 where we're just feeding and manipulating the algorithm. So I think that's still going to happen, but we're also going to have the resurgence of ugly ads. I think the day of influencers with their fancy, obviously paid for videos is going to slowly come to an end or evolve. I think ugly ads are just going to make a huge comeback. Like, I mean, I've been saying it for a year now, where it's like, legitimate UGC, what I used to call UGC, but is now called CGC, is going to make a huge comeback. So customer generated content.
I don't disagree with that. I'd ask a question here because I want your take on it. Do you feel like it's still going to be a Google Meta dominated market, or do you think that we're going to see a lot more diversification of platform usage from the ad side?
It's a good question. I think it's still going to be a Google Meta domination, depending on what happens with TikTok, of course. There are going to be maybe 10% of companies that are willing to invest in platforms like Reddit or Pinterest or even Bing. They just want to hang out where there's, heavy conversions. So like they want to go there, and it's harder to wrap your mind around how, say, a Reddit ad can play a role in the entire sales process or funnel as it is. What do you think?
I mean, I would love to see more diversification across other platforms. Mm-hmm. I'll throw out the specificity of Reddit really deciding to become a player in the ad space. Mm-hmm. Their ads platform from January of this last year to now, the evolution of that platform has come so far with
huge
targeting and options that I'm honestly surprised more businesses aren't taking advantage of it. Obviously, it leaves some room for us.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like the CPMs are insane. While that's a metric I don't not normally care about, but when I'm getting $1.48 CPM and a buttload of clicks, I'll take it. I think, again, it's one of those tippy top of funnels. People still, when I made a video about Reddit and I posted it, a lot of the comments I got were, nobody goes to Reddit. Why would anybody go to Reddit? Nobody's on Reddit. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's the same, like you're the same people who say nobody's on Facebook. Meanwhile, Facebook is the king platform creating $1 million businesses through ads. The other thing with Reddit, so like there's that lack of understanding, because like trust me, dude, like I would love way more diversification, and I think people need to be far more diversified and much more omni-channel, but they don't understand it. And then the other thing too was, for a while Reddit did have like a $20,000 a month minimum. And so I had people fighting me about that. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, I'm testing a $500 budget, like $500 a day budget. That's like, or no, it wasn't even that. It was a really low budget. And I'm like, they're like, no, there's a minimum. I'm like, no, there's not. Go look. But like to your point, you could literally target specific subreddits. I can target keywords that people search. And with how Reddit shows up on SEO in Google searches, why wouldn't you want to potentially be there?
Right. It's almost like a secondary Google ad at this point.
100%.
So, yeah. Let's talk about social for a second. Big winners and losers for 24 and projections for 25. What are your thoughts?
Big winners. I mean, TikTok definitely made a rise, even though there's all their controversy. You know, like I definitely both organic and paid. Like TikTok's just huge.
I mean, the rise of social selling,
huge,
which I think if I had to put money on something in 25, social selling is going to continue its trajectory right now and just blow things out of the water.
Oh, I 100% totally agree with you. I've been doing a lot more research into that and how to convince clients and businesses to do that. It's just going to be like, you don't want to be last. If you're not first, you're last kind of thing. You know, I mean, like, don't wait until you see everybody else do it. Just do it, as Nike would say. Just do it.
What about big losers on the social side this year?
On the social side, like
I personally feel like LinkedIn is just continuing its rapid descent into crap.
Yeah. I actually didn't even think about LinkedIn. That's how much of a loser it is in my mind. But I will say that I do see people getting tons of views and engagement organically. But does that convert to like business? I don't know. Probably not. It's like, to me, LinkedIn's that virtue signaling. Look at me, read my blog post platform. But yeah, I mean, like the big winners to me are, TikTok is probably the biggest winner on both paid with the right products and stuff and organic. Meta is still Meta, but it's hard to grow organically there. So, I mean, like ads wise, like they're always going to win for now. Organic wise, it's, as you know, hard to grow on Meta organically.
Absolutely. YouTube. Yay, nay, or the same? I feel like the rise of YouTube Shorts has been pretty crazy.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, in my experience, it's nothing crazy. But then again, I'm not like this pro content creator that actually puts effort into his content. I'm just some old guy that records a video and then gets repurposed everywhere. But no, I mean, YouTube Shorts is its own thing, and I think that's where a lot of people will end up being if TikTok gets banned.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't think that people want to go to Instagram. People who are not Instagram users. This is a gut feel, so take it at that. But they don't want to be on Instagram.
No, and I'll tell you why I don't want to be on Instagram, because I'm not really an Instagram user. It's too curated. It's too nice looking. It's too fancy, for lack of better terms. Like, I mean, it's not fancy, but like what you see on there is too curated, too professional. TikTok is very raw, authentic, organic. YouTube Shorts are kind of the same. I mean, you still get some of that like nice fancy stuff in there, but at the same time, like it's not, I don't want to see your picture carousel. I don't want to see your food. I don't want to see your motivational stuff. For me, I want to see the raw, authentic, straight to the point kind of stuff. Or the really like funny, like babies laughing or somebody falling and hitting their head or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you're either an Instagram user or you use something else. I don't think there's a middle ground there.
100%. Totally agree with you there.
I'm one thing that we don't talk a ton about on the podcast here, although I know that there's a lot of listeners that are this or care about this. I want to talk about the agency space a little bit. 2024 was what I would deem a static year for agencies. I don't feel like a lot changed. But 2025, I've got some opinions of what's going to happen in the agency space. Namely being, I think we're going to see a lot of consolidation this year.
Oh, for sure, dude. It's already started. Like it 100% started in 24, really in March. Oddly enough, right around the time Advantage Plus took a crap. Like I know agencies, dude, that lost over $3 million a month in MRR, just like that. Yeah, because of consolidation. Because businesses, seemingly bigger businesses, want to have an age like what you and I've talked about offline. That bigger agency, the all-in-one agency that can do Facebook, that can do TikTok, that can do Google, that can do their Amazon advertising, do their email. And so I watched those same agencies either go out and gobble up other small agencies that were doing that, or start offering that by outsourcing and getting a bunch of freelancers in while they rebuilt.
Yeah. I think, and this ties back around to not necessarily the agency's fault, but from a consumer perspective, as a business hiring an agency, I see kind of two different types of clients right now. I have clients who wish they could do it on their own and under execute. We'll put it kindly, under execute.
That was very nice of you.
And I see the other group of clients is clients that understand the value that a specialist or an agency is supposed to bring and will put everything with that agency, preferably one agency over a spread of 3 to 5.
100%. Through the summer and into the fall, a lot of what I was hearing from lead gen company or service based to e-com businesses was they were looking for somebody who could handle everything, like down to the creative strategy, all the platforms, manage everything and give them, even if we weren't making the creative, give them exact direction on this is what we need you to make. This is how we want you to make it, blah, blah, blah. Because other agencies that they had been with weren't doing that and never had any ideas. And like that to me confirmed my thought process from the beginning of the year, where it was like, oh my God, this is what's coming. The age of the specialized one platform agency is coming to an end. Even the pricing models are dying off. So that's a whole other thing. But yeah, agency life, dude, I think, and there's just so many. Let's be honest. I mean, I think there's something like 42,000 agencies, quote unquote agencies in the US. Businesses have also, they've been burned so many times. They borderline have PTSD, it feels like. And then we have to come in and rub their heads and be like, Daddy's got you. Like, it's okay. And but I'm going to have to prove it, which, hey, I should have to prove it. But they've wisened up to the BS after they've been burned. So that's another thing, too. Like, if you do everything in house, like, okay, cool. I had never had the other thing, too, was so many requests in 1 year for case studies. To the point I built a whole page. I built a whole page dedicated to our case studies because I was like, oh my God, I literally spent months having to email these back out. I was like, I've never had this.
Yeah.
So that was another huge indicator.
The funny thing as an agency owner is, those case studies, the market's completely shifted from when you did those.
Oh, 100%.
So while it's great to say, hey, look, these numbers that I produced once upon a time are awesome, it's a whole other thing to say, I've stayed up to date with the marketplace. And I think that's what I wanted to talk about here just briefly was, if you're going for an agency or you're going for an in-house team, whatever you're trying to do with your marketing, you have to put continued education in the requirements. This is why I feel like going with the agency is better than the in-house team, because an agency has two reasons to educate. One, staying ahead of competition for you, performance. And two, they are only doing the one thing. Whereas you as a business owner or your two-man marketing department is putting on so many hats that their entire day is spent on task list, and there's no time for education and development and staying up to date on what's working and what's not. I mean, looking at SEO, which SEO is a slow boat marketing strategy. I feel like the strategy from January, 12 months ago, is outdated.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I know agencies that are still doing the same strategy they did 12 years ago, unchanged.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge part of the marketing arena right now, is that knowing everything is so rapidly changing, that's so rapidly developing and moving, and what's working. I was just messaging with a TikTok creator last night, Yasin, over the last 10 days, seeing a dramatic shift in the TikTok algorithm.
Oh, for sure, dude. It's weird.
Numbers are way down right now. I spent an hour last night with a notebook and just scrolling, taking notes, because creators that I follow, massive creators that I follow, their numbers are 35 to 40% lower over the last 10 days than the previous 2 months.
I believe it. You know, it's weird to your point with that. And I saw your video about it, but the only reason I saw it is I had to go to my friend's feed. You usually pop up in my FYP like crazy. You, Matt, so Sam was social with Sam, like everybody, Brad, like never. I hardly ever see you guys anymore.
Yeah, it's actually funny you bring that up. One of the metrics I was looking at was the breakdown of where viewers come from. Over the last 10 days, my viewership percentage went from an average of about 95 to 97% For You page down to 80%.
Wow.
All this to highlight the fact that everything is changing so rapidly that if you're a business owner trying to do this on your own, this is just fact. I'm not trying to throw shade. You're very capable. You built a business. That's incredible. You can't keep up, period.
And you only have one account, right? Like, this is one thing that I've actually heard from clients where they're like, yeah, I mean, we could do it in house, but you as an agency, you get to see so much at one time. And I just like you, all the SEO stuff, we get to see things collapse or work like in real time across multiple, like 60 plus Facebook ad accounts, let's say. So when Advantage Plus broke, end of February, beginning of March, and I started screaming from the high heavens, it's because I saw 40 ad accounts go from doing really good to taking a dump over 3 days and not rebounding. And there was no rhyme or reason why. And I literally spent 2 hours going through everybody's account, whiteboarding out what do they all have in common. So I'm like, I know we don't suck, that all of a sudden everything just the bottom fell out. So what's the common denominator here? Like, what do they all have in common? And it was Advantage Plus audiences. I wasn't in Advantage Plus campaigns, but then, so if there's the Advantage Plus campaigns and then Advantage Plus audiences. And I was like, screw it. Everybody go into all your ad accounts, hit the original interest button, flip them back to original interest, and let's see what happens. And within 3 days, 4 days, they turn back around. I was like, there you go. But that's, again, we have large data sets to go off of. You know, you do, I do. And it's, again, no shade against the business owner, because that's how it was for me as e-com. But if you don't have a network of people to bounce ideas off of as a business owner of, oh my God, is this happening to you guys? Are you guys seeing this? Then you just have your one data set and you don't really know what to try or what to do.
Absolutely. And also, to that point, finding outliers.
Right.
In your own data, right? When the algorithmic shift hit in November, everybody in my account stayed the same, save two. Two took hits. So I was able to go in and say, what is it about these that seems to have fallen off? And was able to rapidly discover their average content per page, like words on a page, was just about 20 to 25% lower than all the rest of my accounts.
Yeah. And had you not had everything else to look at, good luck figuring that out.
Exactly. So I do think that on the agency business side, we're going to see a consolidation.
Yep.
But my hope is that more and more businesses are going to start going outside their doors for their marketing. Have a marketing strategist, have a marketing director on your team who can pull the puppet strings with the agency or agencies, but don't do the work yourself in-house. It's just going to be harder.
And if you do hire an agency, vet them, ask the right questions, and then trust the process.
Absolutely. One more thing I think we have to address before we wrap up here for 25, AI, man.
Oh, dude, it's going to be wild.
Like, so we're now firmly 2 years into AI? Firmly?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have talked about this before, that I like AI. I'm also not threatened by AI. But going into 25 with now AI helping people code more AI enabled things, what do we think is going to happen with the landscape?
It's hard to say, but I think it's just going to get better. I mean, like you say, like we're able to use AI to code our own tools and softwares now. It's Sora's coming out, or Sora's out. Gemini's got there's so much the video generations, image generations, the way it thinks and reasons, everything's just going to get better. I think we're going to have more and more workflows, so to say, to make things much more efficient. It's not to say that it's going to be able to 100% complete tasks for us, but you're going to essentially have an army, which you can already kind of do, but it's going to be even easier to have an army of AI agents, as they call them, at your disposal, which are essentially employees going out and doing all this research and writing and cultivating and creating images and videos and marketing plans and business plans and forecasting. I think it's going to be wild. It's just going to make things more efficient. People, I agree with you. Don't feel threatened by it. Use it as efficiency.
Yeah, my concern, and this is the other side of the coin that you just mentioned, is that more than ever before, there's just going to be more noise.
Oh God, yeah. So many shiny objects are going to come out. That's very true. Good point.
I'm not even just shiny objects, but again, going back to I'm a 1 or 2 man team in a business, we just need to pump crap out.
Yeah.
Because production, this is another thing. If you have a marketing department in your business, quantity of work does not equal outcome.
Good point. Yep.
And so, because if that was true, I'd have 100,000 followers on Instagram by now.
True.
Quantity could beat quality. I think we're going to start falling away from that very, very hard.
You mean going back to quality over quantity?
Exactly.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with you. Because to your point, it's all going to get overplayed with the faceless videos and the being able to kick out 90 articles in 5 minutes and post them to your WordPress site, outdated, just garbage.
Right. So what you said, where if you look at AI as an efficiency tool, if you look at it as an ideation tool, if you look at it as a support tool, very, very healthy. If you're looking at it as a solution, end-to-end solution for anything in marketing, it's going to be underwhelming.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the amount of times I even get asked right now, what AI tools do you use for to do all your business tasks and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nothing really, dude. It's all,
I know.
It's all by hand for the most part. I use it for other efficiencies, but I'm not letting it run ads. I'm not letting it do no, it's just helping in other areas.
I slap it in my workflow.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I have ChatGPT window open most of the day, but I'll be doing something and I'll have a question or a curiosity, or I'll have a data set that I just want to, quickly process, drop it in there. Find me any trends in this, or, are there any outliers? Done.
Yep. Oh, 100%. We do that with when we review mine, if we can export a company's reviews from say Yappo or something. We'll take those, plug them into ChatGPT, find all the similarities, find any outliers, find any differences. What are the hate comments? What are the good comments? You're done in minutes versus a whole day, if we were to do it by hand. Efficiency, people.
Sorry, you were doing this, so all I could hear in my head was it's very efficient.
ChatGPT's it's a great guy. Great guy.
All the other GPTs, they're horrible. Oh man. All right. Closing thoughts 2025. If you had one thing that you're excited about in 25, what is it going to be?
Can I pass? um, it's going to sound dumb, but I'm excited for no political ad spend.
Fair. Yeah. Fair point. I would say on my side, I'm very excited for SEO's evolution. I know it scares a lot of people that SEO has been functionally a static concept for over 15 years, but and I see it all the time. People trying to coin terminology around what the new thing is going to be, GEO or whatever it is. Look, search engine optimization is simply a practice of optimizing your input so that you optimize the output of a search. That's it. To me, it's already a global term. It's agnostic of platform. It's agnostic of how and why you search, whether that's ChatGPT, Google, Bing, TikTok, Pinterest. It doesn't matter. It's all SEO.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see the branching path of SEO becoming maybe less Google focused.
Oh, for sure.
As search diversifies across the internet now, and what that's going to look like for our vertical in specific. So,
well, I to your point, then I'll shut up. But the resurgence of SEO, right? Like back when I started this stuff in 2006, that's all you really had. Like you had SEO and you had Google ads and then your forums. And it was huge. And then paid ads were so cheap, SEO got ignored and became a complete and total afterthought. Now ads are super expensive, and you can't, like, over the last 3 years, it's become more expensive. Mediocre ads don't work. Just boosting posts doesn't work. So now it's like it's interesting to see the resurgence, and cool for me to see the resurgence of that. And I see it a lot because of like the comments and my interactions with the communities of that. Even I get SEO questions and I'm like, I don't do SEO, people. Like, I'm not the SEO guy. Go follow Jake. But it's becoming more and more of a hot topic across multiple verticals, like you say. So I didn't even think about that, but I'm excited to see where SEO goes. I think it's going to become a much bigger part of everybody's ecosystem and business models. So
yeah. And the interesting thing is that with SEO, it has gotten more difficult, right?
Oh, yeah.
To your point, like, it's not like 10, 15 years ago where I could throw out 2 blog posts a month and dominate SEO.
Right.
It's definitely much harder. And as people have come back from the ad side, they're finding that I messed up by not doing this 8 years ago.
Oh, for sure.
So, like, one thing that I've concepted, and there's no way this ever happens, but I would love to see Google just say, fuck it, delete their database and start over.
Dude, that'd be wild.
And see what happens.
That'd be wild. Yeah.
Like, if they were like, hey, every 3 months, we're going to just purge the bottom 50% of our database.
That'd be interesting. It would definitely force people to make good stuff.
And, it would.
Yeah. So cool.
So anyways, exciting times. 2025 is going to be big. So Mitch, if I want to find you, not on this podcast, where can I find you?
Nowhere. No, you can find me everywhere on the interwebs as Beardpreneur or barhammarketing.com for all of your paid ads needs. Yeah, needs, not need, needs.
Excellent. And if you want to find me, I'm Jake the Wizard. You find me at The Wizard Marketing just about anywhere you like, or thewizard.marketing. There's no .com, .marketing. And I would be remiss if you want to start 2025 off very strong. Mitch and I have a mastermind. You can come learn from us, spend time with us. We will look at your accounts, your numbers, your needs, help you work on those in our mastermind group. You can find me and Mitch, us. I wish there was a word that meant me and Mitch. You can find us at teachme4m.com. Teach me the number 4, the letter m.com, and join our mastermind group. It's a good time.
Yeah, and start 2025 off strong AF, boy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, until next time, this was the Hold My Beer Marketing Podcast. Good luck in 25. Hopefully you had a good 24, despite all the gloom and doom we just threw at it. And we'll catch you on the next one.